It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight, reviews of Sister Act, Born Yesterday, The Book of Mormon, The Intelligent Homosexual's Guide, and Wonderland. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aisle.
Hi, I'm Leslie Hoban Blake.
And I'm Charles Gross. We have a lot to talk about tonight, so we're going to get right to it. The Book of Mormon. Now, this is something you don't see very often.
No, not very often.
An original musical.
Yep.
Not based on any movie, any play, any book, anything, just based on the Mormon religion. And as it is done by the people who did South Park, you may wonder how the Mormons feel about it. Well, their response was, at least they stayed away from polygamy.
That's true. That's the one thing they don't talk about at all.
Right. So this created Trey Parker, Robert Lopez, and Matt Stone. Choreographed by Casey Nicolar, directed by Casey Nicolar and Trey Parker. Now, guys, if you like South Park, you will like this.
Well,
because it's, well...
Oversimplification. I like South Park a lot more than I like this.
Oh, really? Okay. I've never been a big South Park fan.
Yeah, I love South Park. I watch it all the time.
I'll tell you.
And they are far more devastating about things on South Park than they are even in the show.
Yes, they're pretty. In actuality, most of the humor comes not so much from the Mormon Church, but from the characters, the elders. These are young men sent on their missions, which is basically to spread the word of John Smith, the founder of the Mormons. And these two, Elder Price and Elder Cunningham, Elder Price being the ultimate handsome, you know, these...
His teeth sparkle. You know how that goes, his teeth sparkle.
And Elder Cunningham, definitely the sidekick.
Yes,
or
short, sweaty,
and he
pudgy.
And he's not always the most honest people. He tends to come up with these
He
stories.
lies. Basically, he lies. He
and
says, I make up things.
They have the opening, and they have, which is basically the Mormons in training, you know, showing how they ring the doorbells. Hilarious. Then
Hi, may I speak with you?
we find the elders will be teamed up and going to Uganda, even though Elder Price really wanted to go to Orlando.
Yes,
That was his dream, and everyone has such high hopes for Elder Price. And then he finds out he's going to Uganda, and they have a very cute Lion King spoof and a very cute song, and then. And a very cute song about how Elders Price and Cunningham will be a team. Yes, and Elder Price basically saying, yes, it'll be you and me, but mostly me. Very clever. Then they get to Uganda, and they meet the villagers, most of whom have AIDS. And the villagers sing this song, which is kind of supposed to be a tribute to Hakuna Matata, and then translates to be F you, God.
Basically,
that is where they lost me.
Oh, that's where they lost you.
That's where
okay.
And you?
No, I stayed with it. They didn't lose me. I mean, knowing what I was coming to see, there wasn't anything they could say that was going to shock me so far that they would lose me on that. I just didn't find it all that compelling once we got the basic part of that story. And then when we got down to the end, there was a takeoff on the little house of Uncle Thomas from The King and I was really upset about that because that's a very special thing to me, and for them to make fun of that. I didn't mind them making fun of God or making fun of the Bible or making fun of the Mormons, but I minded them
the small house of Uncle Thomas from The King and
ripping off The King and I.
Well, what about the I Have Confidence number from The Sound of Music?
Yes, you're right. That was also
Did that offend you also?
No, okay. Didn't bother me as much.
And there is this one character who keeps proclaiming that he's got maggots.
Oh dear.
In his genitalia, and that's as specific as I can get. You know, and I don't know. I think, listen, I was there with a friend of mine who absolutely loves South Park, and he thought it was fabulous. And the score can be very clever at times. But yes, you know, once they got past the Hakuna Matata number, it wasn't that I wasn't expecting it. I was slightly offended by it, you know. I knew, but I knew what I was getting into.
Again, I wasn't offended by anything.
But they did kind of lose me with the
hype
story.
on this show was so high.
Yes,
it's gotten 12 Tony nominations and 11
Drama Desk
nominations.
And it is expected to sweep the Tonys.
And it's going to sweep everything. And I'm afraid because of that, I saw it a little later in the run than everyone else did. I think I was taken by the hype, you know. So I expected the second coming, and I didn't get the second coming. And I think that's the problem. My sister, who saw it in preview and then went again with me, so she's seen it twice, loved it both times, loved it better the second time than the first time. So, you know, there's no accounting for taste when it comes to something like that. Well, if it's a question of taste, anyway.
Right. Good acting. I should say that with the exception of Elder Cunningham, all the Mormons remind me of the Page character from 30 Rock.
Oh, that's funny, yes.
You know,
hadn't thought of that.
That's yes, well, small.
Oh, he's a small town, but not
they're all
not
small
a Mormon.
Boys.
He's not a Mormon.
No, he's not. But he'd fit in very well with with
he
this group.
Yeah.
You know, good performances. Again, the score can be very clever at
well,
times.
and the staging, for the most part, was clever.
Yes.
I mean, I know I'm making fun of the fact that they ripped that off, but the staging was quite clever, actually.
Right. Andrew Ranellis and Josh Gad as the two elders, you know, both give good performances. But oh, and Nikki James as the
as the young African woman.
The young African woman, yes, who starts texting.
Who's as good a Mormon as they are.
with a manual typewriter. Well,
yes,
she becomes a Mormon, and there's a clever sequence about that. All in all, you know, it's got a lot to say for it. You know, I kind of prefer musicals where I don't have to cross my legs every 15 minutes.
So
More or less the
where
same
would you
as
go
yours.
with this sort of?
I would say 2.75 or 3.
No, I'd go 3-ish, 3. I'd even go as far as 3.5, but I wouldn't go any higher than that.
All right.